Yes, Bill Gates and his foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, or as I like to call it, the Bill and Melinda Gates of Hell Foundation. Let's be clear on this. Anything this individual is involved in, you can be sure there's a sinister purpose behind it. You can be sure it is only to benefit himself and his family. Let me tell you something about Bill Gates. He is in, as George Carlin said, the big club, and we ain't in it. Okay, you can bet that Mr. Gates has earned his seat at the table and is rubbing elbows with some of the most evil elitists on the planet. His sole purpose is to benefit off of our destruction. It's really that simple. Do you really think there are good intentions behind vaccines and GMOs when Mr. Gates is fully backing and funding these operations? And now he is at the forefront in private funding for the Ebola vaccine program. Why do you think that is? And speaking of GMOs and Monsanto, guess who is also directly involved with this Ebola vaccine campaign? That's right, the one and only, the infamous Monsanto. Considered by most to be the most evil, corrupt, destructive company on the planet, is involved with development of an Ebola vaccine. That's right. Monsanto has partnered with the Department of Defense, the DoD, to use a third-party proxy and partner of Monsanto, a little-known company called Tekmira, Tekmira Pharmaceuticals Corporation. Is it really that surprising? Who better to aid in the creation of a Frankenstein vaccine than Monsanto? The seed money Monsanto will contribute begins at $1.5 million. The value of the deal has the potential to grow to an estimated $86 million. Tekmira is a leading developer of RNA interference therapeutics, or RNAi for short. TKM-Ebola is their anti-Ebola virus RNAi therapeutic and is being developed under a $140 million contract with the DoD. Tekmira website, Pipeline, TKM Ebola. In March 2014, we were granted a fast-track designation from the US FDA for the development of TKM Ebola, our anti-Ebola viral RNAi therapeutic. The FDA's fast track is a process designed to facilitate the development and expedite the review of drugs in order to get important new therapies to the patient earlier. It is worthy of note that once a public health emergency is declared by WHO, World Health Organization, untested experimental vaccines can be given to populations. Couple that with the fierce psychological operations through the corporate mass media, and you have a public literally at the palm of your hands. They would even accept a minimally tested, Monsanto-sponsored vaccine. Richard Sacre, third American missionary with Ebola, being treated with Canadian experimental drug. He's being treated with TKM Ebola, which is not yet FDA approved. Sacre is doing well, but it's unclear if that's because of the drug. The treatment, made by Canada's Tekmira Pharmaceuticals, has been approved by regulators for emergency use, though the Food and Drug Administration has yet to approve it in totality. Sacre received the drug at Nebraska Medical Center and is doing well, according to the hospital. TKM works by stopping the Ebola virus from replicating. Dr. Kent Brantley, a fellow aid worker who had Ebola and then donated blood to Sacre after being cured, was administered another experimental Ebola drug, ZMapp, as was fellow missionary Nancy Wright-Bowl. It's unclear if TKM is healing Sacre or if it's the hospital care, the blood transfusion, or other factors at work.
This is a name that absolutely is on fire right now. You want to talk about volatility, this would be a name you'd want to be looking at right now. But the limited use by the FDA certainly opened up the floodgates today. Everybody was very excited about that. There's another stock out there with some drugs on the market that people are not on the market, but they're working on. BioCryst as well actually had a little bit of a bump. But this name, just understand what the volatility really means, which means it could drop just as much as it exploded to the upside today. and the fact that it does have options. If you were going to get involved in something like this seems to me more like something you'd want to have options, have limited risk, know exactly what your risk is rather than going into the stock.
Do we agree with that particular trade?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, this thing could go to 100. Who knows if it works and there's a bigger epidemic? It could continue to go.
We also should ask ourselves, why is Monsanto interested in Tekmira? The option deal between Monsanto and Tekmira supports the application of Tekmira's delivery technology and the related intellectual property for use in agriculture. According to Dr. Robert M. McCarroll, VP Chemistry Technology of Monsanto, quote, "We are pleased to partner with Tekmira to explore development of their delivery technologies for the field of agriculture. We believe that by collaborating with Tekmira, the company's research can provide a key enablement to support and expand our viral direct technology platform." End quote. Let's think about this. So Monsanto, who is already inflicting massive amounts of damage on our bodies by genetically engineering our food crop, will now be using a giant pharma company's delivery technologies? Is anyone else's alarm bells going off? Quote, "Our proprietary delivery technology is enabling the most advanced applications of RNAi therapeutics in the clinic. This new agreement points to the broad applicability of Tekmira's delivery platform and underscores the promise of applying this science within the field of agriculture. We are pleased to have this additional validation of our technology." End quote. Tekmira President and CEO, Dr. Mark J. Murray. Like vaccines, when it comes to genetically modified crops and foods, we really have no idea of what the long-term effects will be on our bodies. With all of this insanity going on here with vaccines, GMOs, and the chemtrail and geoengineering program, it's really no wonder why so many people believe we are all part of one massive genetic experiment at this point. Another question that needs to be asked regarding Monsanto is, why did it create genetically engineered aluminum-resistant seeds? Anyone familiar with chemtrails and geoengineering knows that there is ample evidence showing that chemtrails contain heavy metals such as aluminum oxide. The mere fact they created this seed proves there is in fact aluminum being sprayed in our atmosphere, as many believe, and they created this seed for immunity. Neurologist warns aluminum and chemtrails could cause explosive increase in neurodegenerative diseases. Yes, nanoparticles of aluminum are infinitely more reactive and can easily penetrate the brain. Nanoparticles.